This is the QB Huddle Podcast, hosted by Tim Smith and Brandon Newey.
Welcome back into the QB Huddle Podcast. I'm Tim Smith, joined as always by my podcast partner, Brandon Newey. We're here to talk all
Let's
things
go, baby.
quarterback all season long, and another great weekend of football over the holiday. But Brandon, before we get into that, man, how was your Thanksgiving?
Man, it was good, man. Nothing like spending time with family, enjoying the holidays with each other, having some laughs. Plus, we had, 3 solid games this week. I thought that was good, especially with the 49ers Seahawks, that prime time. I'm going to shout out my Niners. We did our job. Dallas beat the heck out of the Commanders, which we knew that was going to happen. Go figure. And there was a surprising win. The Packers take down the Lions.
Oh, that was terrible.
Right after the Barry Sanders documentary come out. You should feel some type of way. Right? That was a great documentary. How good was that?
Did you watch the documentary?
Yes, absolutely. I loved it.
Good.
I loved every bit of it. I remember watching his son play at a Heritage Hall. He was a stud too, but he wasn't like his dad. I mean,
no.
Barry was one of those guys, man. You haven't seen anything close to him.
No.
I would say the only person who sniffed that type of ability to get in and out of things was Shady McCoy. That's the only person I've ever seen like that. I mean, watching Shady and watching him run in the snow, you would think Barry Sanders would do the same thing. So
yeah. And before Barry, the only person that really ran like Barry or close to it might have been Gale Sayers, maybe. He was,
I didn't get to watch Gale, man. I'm a little bit of a younger guy.
I didn't watch Gale live either.
Maybe,
I'm not that old.
hey, maybe you went to his practice or something. You didn't know, man. But
listen, I'm not that old. But
that was a special documentary.
Watch the documentary, guys. It's on Amazon Prime. It was amazing. It talks about him and why we finally get the answer as to why he walked away when he did, and that was such a shock to the football world when he retired. Wow, Barry just walked away, and we all thought maybe he wanted to play somewhere else at the time, but we knew that the Lions weren't going to release his contract. But it turns out, not to ruin the whole thing, but he didn't want to play anymore. It wasn't about playing somewhere else. He was just ready to move on. Let's just say that.
Well, I think it played a couple of factors. I think seeing 2 of his teammates go down like that,
right?
That kind of traumatized him.
That's hard to see.
That's a hard, that's hard to see, right? So I think that played a big part in it, to be honest. And then you start getting rid of the guys who went 8-2. I didn't know they beat Dallas Cowboys to go to the NFC title game.
Why
got
washed by
the Redskins.
Golly.
I don't know, man. But how was your Thanksgiving, man? About
it wasn't bad. Just the wife and I chilling by ourselves with our dogs, and neither one of us likes turkey. In fact, she doesn't even eat meat, so we made eggs and waffles and stuff for dinner. We watched football all day. It was great. Watched the Cowboys get a big win.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of fun. Watched the Lions lose. That almost ruined the day for me. I really wanted to see the Lions win. And
I didn't
want to see them beat
Thank
the
you,
Packers,
Lions.
so.
Thank you, Detroit, because now that put us in number 2. And by the way, speaking of Thanksgiving, I will say this. Turkey is such an overrated thing.
It's dry.
It's so dry. It doesn't matter how you cook it. I mean, people fry it, bake it, smoke it. All that shit is nasty. To me, it's just dry. I'm like, damn, needs a little bit more flavor. Man, I smoked some ribs. Good old St. Louis cut. I thought it was pretty good. My father-in-law smoked some ribs too.
Nice.
Did a little bit of baby back, different. Although my aunt's turkey was pretty good. I'll give her that. I think she bought the damn turkey, but that's just me.
Were you up in Oklahoma at all? Or did you stay?
No. I stayed at the in-laws, man. Her family was there. It was good to see a big family come together, because she does have a big family just when they come together. It was something cool to see. Hopefully they continue to do it. But man, there was a lot of shout out to my grandma's rice, Puerto Rican rice. Fire.
Oh, okay.
Fire. I look forward to that all the time. So she loves making that. And then, it was a good Latin Thanksgiving, man. Everybody showed up, had a good time. I'm asleep on the couch right after I eat.
What
the
time
itis
did you
kicks
eat?
in.
You see, as growing up as a kid, we used to go to my grandma's every year, and so she would
Yeah.
always ask me. Again, we didn't have cable back then, so we only got to watch what game was on. So the only time I got to see the Cowboys was either on Monday Night Football or on Thanksgiving. And so she would always
Yeah.
ask me, "Hey, what time is halftime?" We'll try to eat around halftime, which was always great. I never had to eat at the table, right? I would just grab my food and go back to the TV. It was fantastic. What time did you eat? Because you hate to miss the game, right?
Right. And so
That's
we
the
didn't
hard
eat till
part.
about 2 o'clock, right? So it was actually kind of good timing
Oh, so you
because
ate
that game
really early.
ended.
You ate during
Game
the
was
Lions game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we end up, having some cocktails, some old fashions, and sitting up there watching the game, watching my father-in-law get mad at Dak if he messes up by any stretch. He's a big diehard Cowboys fan. But it was
Nice.
fun. It was fun, man. It was good stuff, man. He's big on his Cowboys, and he thinks they're gonna win it, but we'll see. You know how that goes. They got to
Well,
beat
we'll
Philly, man.
we'll
You
see.
got to beat Philly. You got to split.
Got to be
Please
Philly.
do it for
That's what we
me.
have to do. And so let's get into it because I know, or I think I know, I have a good idea who your on fire is going to be, and based on his Thanksgiving performance, and I know who my on fire is. But I'll start with you, Brandon. Uh, on fire this week. Who was your guy that was on fire this week?
Man, to me, it was one guy that really stood out. And I hate to say it, I've been talking a little noise on him just because I don't think he was it, but maybe he is now. Now he's got some weapons. Did upset. I'm going with Jordan Love. I mean, he
Oh,
did his
you're
thing.
not going
I
with
mean, he
the hometown kid, Brock Purdy.
no. But
Okay.
Jordan outperformed. To me, Jordan outperformed everybody that day. Everybody, not named Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Dak did
I
his
was going
thing,
to say.
right? But the fact it's the way Jordan Love did it. He went to hostile environment. They're just coming off of a big win. He's playing back to back, games where he threw for 300 yards. That hasn't been done in like 17, 18 games for them. Really longer than
Yep.
that. Probably I think more like 20 plus. But he was 22 of 32, 268, 3 TDs, no turnovers. And they upset Detroit in a big one. Detroit was number 2 seed, going at 8-2, and they come in, at 4-6, and they beat them 29-22. When you beat a good team like that, especially on the road, you got my respect. So he's definitely one that stood out.
Okay. Again, I hated that game. I hated that outcome. I hated Jordan Love playing well.
Not me, not as a Niner fan. We love that. Go ahead and
I wanted to
lose.
talk about Brock Purdy, but I didn't because I was going to leave that for you because I felt Brock was outstanding against Seattle. But
He did his thing.
he was my secondary guy. I have the jersey on today. Finally, this season, I am starting to buy in a little bit to my Dallas Cowboys and what Dak Prescott is doing. Now, we have to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to say we have to beat the Eagles. We have to beat the Seahawks on Thursday night. They're an over 500 team. We beat Seattle. I don't care what they're going through right now. I know they're not what they were a couple weeks ago, but we beat them Thursday night. And then I'm going to believe, and I'm going to go all in and be ready to go down with the ship when and if it does go down. But Dak Prescott was on fire this week. Once again, he has been since the Eagles game. 22 for 32, 331, 4 touchdowns, no picks. It started slow versus the Commanders. They had a little bit of energy defensively. We didn't come out just sizzling, but it came around at the end. A lot of people were calling this a trap game for the Cowboys. A lot of the media was saying that this was a game that the Cowboys were going to overlook and looking actually into the future, not even to Seattle, but looking all the way to Philly. I think that's disrespect to the coaching staff of the Cowboys. I think they're ready week in and week out. Dak showed it again. I still don't trust, again, like I said, until we beat a team that is over 500. So we have to beat Seattle, and Dak has to play well. Right, he doesn't have to go for 304 touchdowns, but let's control the ball. Let's not turn it over. Let's get in the end zone when we're in the red zone. Let's have good third down percentage, and I'll be very, very happy with that. I think he's the best QB in the NFC East by far. I don't think it's close. I know you're going to argue. I can't wait for that conversation.
Oh
I
my
think as
gosh,
a quarterback and what he's doing for his team,
he's doing good.
Dak
He's
is
doing
playing
good.
lights out. He
really is.
I'm excited.
And he's number 2 in completion percentage. And you know who's number 1, right? The kid.
Yeah,
Mr.
it's Brock Purdy.
Now,
Yeah.
Purdy did play well. I thought he put the dagger. Oh my God, he made a throw that I don't think too many QBs can make. I haven't seen it besides like a guy like Herbert, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Aaron Rodgers. Those are the guys, right? And
They
Brock
don't
Purdy
talk
doesn't
about
have
Brock
an
Purdy's arm a
amazing arm,
lot. They don't
bruh.
talk about his arm, but his accuracy is pinpoint.
It's
What I love
insane.
about Brock Purdy
It's insane.
is the way he delivers on third down a lot of the time. And what I mean by that is, man, he will sit in there and he will throw that 15-yard dig in the middle of traffic to get that first down, and he'll put it on a rope. He'll find he seems to find the right guy almost all the time. And obviously, if you get pressure on him up the middle, like any quarterback, that's going to bother him. He's not as athletic as some of these other guys, but he's sneaky athletic. In the fact that we don't talk about it a lot, but he can run. I saw him get out of the pocket a few times and get loose. I like what he's doing. I don't want him to play that way when we see him again in the playoffs, but I'd like him to play to the best visibility this coming weekend, please. I'd like to see the best.
This is a big game for him. This is a big test, and I think when you got a guy that is winning again, the confidence is flowing, right? Everybody's starting to feel themselves. We're about to walk into hostile territory, man. You and I both know it is extremely hard to play in Philly. So seeing him play that team along facing Jalen Hurts, which, I mean, I can go on and on about Jalen Hurts, how good he is, and some people disagree. But I think what he does is the way he plays his game, he's playing it at the highest level.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You and a few others, you're not the only person that feels that way, but I feel like there's a lot of guys right now, especially going down the stretch, that are really starting to turn some heads here. I think Dak Prescott, like you said, he's on fire, right? He's a guy that's been discounted many of times. And granted, you can only control what you can. You play the teams you play, right? But he's playing at a high level. And you gotta give your hat to him because, I mean, what he's doing right now, there's not a lot of people that are doing this, right? He didn't really have an effective run game until probably the other day. Yeah. He's doing it all through the air. So
and
kudos to Dak.
The Cowboys, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the Cowboys predominantly play down to their competition in years past.
But enough about the Cowboys. Until they beat a 500 team, I'm not really convinced. Let's go to the garbage juice. Because there was a couple of quarterbacks that had some really bad games.
Well, there's a handful at the least. But where are we going to start? Because I know in pre-production meeting, we had the same two quarterbacks that happened to play for the same exact team.
We did.
And I think they deserve to be talked about because, I mean, the garbage juice can be as big of a bucket as we need it to be. And this week it needs to be pretty large. But, I mean, these two guys deserve to hold residence and maybe bring their head coach along with them. Maybe all three of them just kind of hang out in there. You know, who are we talking about, Brandon? Let the folks know who we're talking about.
We're talking about Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. Absolute dog water.
So much trash. How can one quarterback room be so bad? How can it be so bad?
No preparation, man. This comes down to it. You're an NFL quarterback. You get paid millions of dollars. It's your job to figure it out. And especially the way you played, both of you aren't really giving yourself an opportunity to grab this position by the gonads and make it happen. You saw a guy by the name of Thomas Brady do it for 20-plus years. You have enough film. You see the videos, right? How do you not take this opportunity and just run with it? Neither of you did. I mean, right now, it was pretty pathetic between the two of them. I mean, they combined for a total passing of 136 yards and a 33.4 QBR rating with combined 3 INTs. Gentlemen.
Zappy threw 54 yards, bro. 54.
Bro, 54 yards. That is a recipe for disaster.
It's not good.
And you have a team in the Giants who, if you watch the Giants play this year, they can play a little tough, right? Thibodeau's doing really well. But they also go off on people, especially Dak has his best games versus the Giants, right? And I know I'm going to talk enough about the Cowboy junk, but, man, you guys have got to figure it out because they're about to draft a quarterback. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. You're not prepared. You don't have any emotion. I don't see any fight with you.
Matter?
There's no leadership. It looks terrible.
If they draft Caleb Williams, let's say. And
Don't
I don't
draft
think
him.
we don't
Stay
think he's the
away.
number 1 draft pick. So
No, not at all.
let's say they get Penix. Does it matter? Let's say they get JJ McCarthy. Does it matter? Let's say they get Jaden Daniels. Does it matter? Because you still have Bill Belichick, and the regime there in New England seems like they haven't been able to do a thing since Tom Brady packed his bags and walked out the building. So does it matter who the quarterback is, or do they need to change everything from the top down?
That system's outdated. Bill Belichick has to adapt to the new era of guys. That system's outdated. I mean, they've talked about it quite a bit on TV, but I mean, I'll just go to say this isn't old school football anymore, man. These guys are a little bit more sensitive, right? They carry a lot of their feelings on their sleeves, right? And we can all be emotional at some given point, but one of the things that you have to do as a quarterback, man, you cannot let a team see you sweat. Period. You can have emotion built behind it, but when it doesn't transfer to the field, it lets you know that these guys aren't in it. The screen's shaking the entire time, and Bill Belichick probably makes it a complete disaster by keeping the switch guys in and out. If you're a guy who's got some skins in the game, such as Mac Jones, I mean, you walk in the door, man, and you just say, "Hey, like, ride with me." Period. Because you can't keep going back and forth. They draft you in the first round, like, have some nuts, bro. You can have a talk.
Do you think the Patriots failed Mac Jones to some degree, though? I mean, last
Yes,
year,
absolutely.
he didn't even have an offensive coordinator.
Yes, absolutely. I think getting OB helps because Tom had one of his best years with OB. But outside of that, man, Tom Brady studied the game. You can tell when quarterbacks just go out there and are winging it. And Mac Jones was winging it. I mean, we just had coach on last week said Alabama doesn't have QB coaches. They don't develop their QB. So when you get into the league and you have to learn how to change protections, et cetera, you guys are in this really pass-heavy offense. You've got to make those checks. And if you can't do that and deliver on time, you are going to drown at the next level. You just are, and you got to figure it out.
Came into the NFL behind the curve anyway because he played at Alabama, coming in behind the curve and not having a mentor in the room, not having a offensive coach in the room. That didn't help him because Bill Belichick said, well, I'm Bill Belichick. This is the New England way. This is the Patriot way. We just win. So just go out there and win. And that was not successful for Mac Jones.
Or maybe he was just challenged and Mac couldn't adapt to it, what they were asking him to do.
Maybe.
Because didn't you hear Cam Newton didn't have to read defenses and checks at the line until he got to New England? So maybe there's a huge learning curve in the college game that really hinders Mac Jones from exceeding to a higher level. Maybe he's capped right now.
He doesn't have. That can overcome that, right? He's not athletic.
No.
He doesn't have a super strong arm. He's mediocre to blah when you watch him play, and his career is probably over with. He might be a career backup. That's not a bad way to make a living.
They were 4 of 14 on the third down, man. They were 4 of 13. They're only averaging in passing yards 3.7 yards per play. It's not good. You're sacked twice. I mean, sacks can come and go. You're 50% on red zone. I mean, the key was the turnovers in that game. And you can't keep turning the ball over, guys. No. You just can't do that. That's a lack of preparation to me when you step into a place like that. And you should know this. You should know this type of team because this type of coaching staff played in Buffalo at a time. Right? So you should kind of know their tendencies as far as what they're doing. But, man, this is I know it's out of your conference, but you can't go lay an egg like that. And now you're about to go run into, a team that's probably going to end you with the Chargers. They can throw all over the place. I mean, they're 4-7. They're struggling. But you guys definitely aren't doing yourself any favor. So, I mean, that's what I have for garbage juice. I mean, that is bad. Yeah. That is bad play. That's the worst play of the year. Congratulations, shitbirds.
I had the same thing, the same 2 quarterbacks, but without diving into it too briefly, let's just throw some other guys in the garbage juice as well because Sam Howell was pretty terrible this weekend. Derek Carr was pretty terrible this weekend.
Both bad. Tua was bad.
Bengals
Tua wasn't good.
Bengals Steeler game bad. Tua not great. It's a good
I mean,
quarterback
he had
play in
2
that
picks.
Texans-Houston game. I like that quarterback play there. Good quarterback play in the Indianapolis-Tampa Bay game. Terrible
It was
quarterback
mid.
play in Carolina with Bryce Young. I mean, just horrendous quarterback play there.
What do you think is going on with Bryce Young right now? What's going on? I don't think it's because he's too small. Because if you look at his stats, he was 18 of 31, 194 yards, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. So what is going on? Is he getting sacked too much?
He's
What's
getting
your
hit a lot.
thoughts?
He's getting hit a lot.
He's taking a beating.
I don't. What is his skill set? What is it? Is it I get rid of the ball quickly? Well, if that's the case, I mean, he does great on their screen game and their short game, their quick game. But when you talk about the intermediate game, he's not good at going from 1 to 2. He's holding the ball an awful lot, which is why he's getting hit quite a lot. His offensive line isn't very good. I don't think getting rid of Frank Reich was the right move. That's a quarterback guy who has tremendous success in this league with quarterbacks. And I think at the very least, you give him an opportunity for the entire year to continue to work with Bryce Young. That's going to be a developmental project, and that's an organization that is in a complete rebuild. Their draft picks don't even go to them this year. They go to Chicago, so they're losing for no reason. The Bears are going to get their draft pick, and man, they're going to be in it for a while. Bryce Young, unfortunately, was a guy I thought needed to go to a team and develop, and he ends up going to a team where he has to play right away, and they're not very good. And he doesn't have a lot of athletic traits to cover up the fact that they're not very good up front. So I think that's a lot of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's sacked 40 times. That's what stands out to me. They have
That's
yet
not
to
all to
score
do
over
with the
24
O-line,
points
is it?
in an entire game. I don't think I look at his feet. His feet are very slow. His feet are tied to the game like it was at Alabama. You can get away with that. In the NFL, you got to deliver it at least in 2.5 to 7 seconds. You got to get rid of the ball. I think that's hindering him from taking long shots. Thielen obviously is doing what he can, despite him being a little older. But I'm seeing him on pace for 15 touchdowns, 14 picks, man. That isn't good. And you're the 29th ranked player as a QBR. You're already small. Now, granted, I'll give you credit. You stood in there.
Yeah.
You stood in there and taken every shot. So
he keeps getting back up somehow.
I think he's in a really bad organization because they've had 5 coaches in like 3 years. And that owner has no idea what he's doing in football.
Agreed.
Like, he's a high risk, high reward guy. If you look at the gentleman's backstory, I mean, it's all like, oh man, he had a nice come up, but to be honest, I mean, he gambled a lot, and so maybe he's gambling for the right coach to come in with Bryce Young. But I also think that Frank Wright, from what people are saying, is he did not want Bryce Young. He wanted C.J. Stroud.
Oh,
and the GM made the move.
So maybe they should have fired the GM instead of the head coach.
But it's hard to believe that when you put out a video about the traits of a quarterback, what you're looking for. He said that Bryce Young has exactly the traits he's looking for. They said he's different than everyone in the draft. But if you can't get rid of the ball on time, come on, man. Like, you're struggling. Like, you're smaller than Brock Purdy. And we all know Brock Purdy looks small out there.
Right.
But Brock's getting it done. He doesn't have the best offensive line either, man. Jimmy used to get sacked all the time in this offense. All the time. You've got to learn to deliver the mail in a timely manner and get your team and get your guys adjusted to where they need to go. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's I mean, he's got some of those, your typical Alabama quarterback traits. He's got to be smart because he's basically had to teach himself, as we've learned now. Nick Saban doesn't.
Oh, that's messed up.
He doesn't really work on development of his quarterbacks, but you look at his face, you look at his demeanor. He's always the same guy. He's always super calm. He's not rattled. He doesn't get frazzled in the pocket or anything of that nature. I think he's got all that going for him. I think he's a good leader. I think he probably works extremely hard, and I bet he watches a ton of film. The problem is I think he's limited. And then when you put that on top of bad feet and you put that on top of a poor offensive line with just a poor organization around you, with just Adam Thielen as your number one receiver, I don't think that's a good recipe for success.
That's tough, man. So do they go get Marvin Harrison in the first pick?
Well, they won't be able to because their pick is going to be the Bears' pick, so the Bears will take Marvin Harrison.
Oh, man, I forgot about that. What idiots are you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Not only did we get DJ Moore, but we're going to go ahead and get Marvin Harrison, too.
Oh, so man, Ohio State reunion.
Right?
Oh, Lord.
With Justin Fields, that's going to be something special in Chicago next year, thanks to Carolina. So I appreciate Carolina continue to suck. And
well, be a slapdick. There you go.
Yeah, just keep being terrible. That's great. Brandon, who surprised you this weekend? There was probably a couple guys out there. There wasn't a lot because we've already demonstrated that there wasn't a lot of great QB play this week. It seems to be going down throughout the season, doesn't it? It seems to be deteriorating a little bit. We're used to seeing the quarterback play rise as the season goes, but who surprised you this holiday weekend?
Man, I think Matthew Stafford did. I think Matthew Stafford put on a clinic the other day. And I know right now they're battling. They're 5-6, and they beat the Cardinals 37-14. But Matthew Stafford was 25 of 33 with 4 TDs. Yeah, he threw a pick. We all know Stafford going to throw a damn pick.
Oh,
but the fact is he's distributing it out. I mean, they dominated the time of possession. I thought C.J. Stroud, even though when it's suffering in a loss, he put up over 340 yards of total offense, 2 TDs. He outplayed Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion. And, I think he's going to continue to do great things. I think that's a young team that everybody should be excited about. Those candy paint red unis. Oh, my goodness.
I don't feel like there should be a second team in Texas. I feel like the only team in Texas is the Dallas Cowboys. The Texans would be fine if they would just change their name and maybe move to New Mexico.
Hey, man, I think right now the rivalry should start up versus the Cowboys and Texans because now they got a team that'll compete with you.
Yeah, we'll see. There's never really been.
They got some players now.
They do. Yeah. Look, I love what CJ's doing. I felt like CJ did enough to win the game the other day. Trevor just did a little bit more, unfortunately, at the end, but. I think the Texans are right there, and they're poised to get into the playoffs. I was going to go with Jordan Love. I'm going to stay with Jordan Love because I know you had him on fire. He surprised me.
Yeah, he was doing good.
Because I felt like going into Detroit, Detroit has an opportunity to really seize that division and fight for that number 1 seed, and they go in and they lay an egg. And what really got to me, what the surprise was, 20-point first quarter. Right now, that wasn't all the Packers offense because you had that fumble recovery that went for a touchdown where Goff thought he was trying to throw the ball, whatever, fumble.
Right.
Packers pick it up, they score. But to get out fast like that in Detroit, you're playing well, 22 of 32, 268, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Man, that's huge, I thought, and surprised me because I didn't expect. I just didn't expect that was what was going to happen with the Packers going in.
He was surgical with that thing, man. Good. He was surgical with the pill, man. He did his thing. And maybe they were looking for a quarterback in the beginning, but when you beat a top team like the Lions, even though they are the Lions, you're definitely your stock is back up for sure when you do something like that.
The last 3 weeks,
so kudos.
You mentioned it earlier, a couple 300-yard games, and now you've beaten the Lions in
Here
Detroit.
We go.
Maybe the Packers do have a quarterback after all. Damn it.
Here we go. I mean, if you look, I mean, they've been spoiled for like 30-something years, man. I mean, it's pretty bad now. But I think Jordan Love is really starting to turn a corner. He's got 19 touchdowns, but he's also got 10 interceptions, taking half the sacks that my man Bryce Young has taken in his first year. But, he's now getting to 60% completion. And I think the more you see that, he just starts getting more decisive with the ball. That completion percentage starts to rise. You have young playmakers across the board, even though Dillon and Jones right now, they're a little older, so you got to repolish that probably in the future. But I think the future is bright for Jordan Love, man. He's starting to turn a little corner, and I like to see it because he's got a great whip, man. He can throw it.
I don't like to see it. Green Bay is supposed to have terrible quarterback play for the next 20 years. This is ridiculous.
Man, never that.
This is ridiculous.
They're going to keep rolling. That's just what they do, man. It's fun to watch.
Speaking of rolling, I've had enough. You had enough Cowboy talk. I've had enough Packers talk. We're going to get into halftime. And Brandon, go ahead and tell the folks about the other podcast that we're lucky enough to be a part of, which is the Couch Coach.
Absolutely, man. The Couch Coach has been doing great things, man. XO, myself, and Tim, we've been really collabing. It's our first season, and so we're trying to learn, different ways of how to come at you. But I think this season has been great. If you haven't tuned into that, please like, share, and subscribe. It's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're all amongst social media. I think the only one we're not on is Twitter, but who's on
X.
Twitter besides excuse me.
X.
But man, we're just keeping it real. It's a bunch of guys that are talking ball. We play ball, but to cover the NFL, it's been really fun. It's been a roller coaster. This is probably one of the most controversial seasons, I would say, when it comes to quarterback play, but also team play. The refs playing a big role in things. But stay tuned to that. Our picks are on fire. We have great guests that come on every week. But lately, we've been just doing the three amigos here, and I think it's been some good banner, some good conversation there, and hopefully we'll get a couple of more guests appearing very soon. Hopefully, Nine is going to come on the show because he is a big, avid Eagles fan, and we are playing them this week, so I cannot wait. Come on, we ready. So stay tuned to us, man.
I wanted to give a shout out to Nine, but I really don't want him back on the show until the Eagles lose. I've had enough. I've heard enough. I've listened enough about the Eagles. I think I'm done with them.
They're gonna be all right. We're gonna take care of business.
Speaking of the Eagles, now this is where it's gonna get fun, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in, stay locked in, because this is gonna be a fun little segment. This is our Brady moment segment. I didn't see a Brady moment yesterday. I just didn't see one.
Stop.
Unless we're talking about the kicker who kicked a 60-yard field goal in terrible conditions in Philadelphia.
He did do that.
Or maybe the refs. The refs had a lot to do
the
with
refs,
it.
yeah.
But
or maybe it's just Jalen Hurts.
Let's just talk about it, because you have a Brady moment. You have a guy that you think had a Brady moment yesterday. So, lay it on me, man. Let's get into this.
I do, man. It's Jalen Hurts. It was a battle. It was a battle. This is their fourth straight comeback in a row. It's scary, almost how they do it. Okay, now we all understand it's a team effort. We get that, but Jalen Hurts is a definition of ice in his veins. The moment's never too big. I feel when the game's more on the line, that's when he gets better for some reason, because he had a terrible first half, as you attested to. Right, only had 33 total.
11 for 33 yards.
Okay, point that out. But when the game mattered, when Josh Allen went down there and scored, okay, what happens? He drove him down the field, put him in field goal position. He was disgusted by that because you know why? Even though they made it, he wanted to score and it be over. He's never settling. He's never settling.
Oh, my God.
Come on. And this is a Niner fan talking.
A 60-yarder.
Bro, these kickers can kick 65 yards now. You got to be in the league. If you can't kick 56 plus, you're probably not going to kick in the NFL anymore. Those Robbie Gold days are over. All these guys got freaking bazooka legs.
No, let's not forget the fact that the Bills missed a field goal that would have made it so that game could never go to overtime.
Yep,
and
sure did.
They had a field goal blocked, which I'll give credit to the Eagles for that. They blocked the field goal. So there's 6 points they should have had.
Okay.
There was 3 egregious calls not made by the referees, where even the guy that talks about the referees came on TV and was like, yep, that should have been roughing the passer. That should have been a 15-yard penalty against the Eagles. That should have been pass interference, but it wasn't.
I get it, so but there's a lot of things.
I'm getting tired of seeing that week in and week out with Eagles games, because it's week in and week out, right?
Fair enough. But when the game mattered.
I'll give you that Jalen.
What did he do?
I'll give you this. I'll give you that Jalen is cool, calm, and collected. I'll give you that. I'm also going to say, why the hell did the Bills go to a complete prevent defense on the final series? Why are they giving up those 10-yard out routes all of a sudden? Why are they giving up those curl routes that they weren't giving up the whole game when Jalen was struggling? Right?
So what they do? They tried to make him beat him. They tried to force him to beat him with his arm. What did he do? What did he do? It doesn't matter. If he can't throw, like you said, he can't throw.
I never said he couldn't throw.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You've said it 1,000 times.
I did.
You said it 1,000 times.
Listen.
Come on, man.
He can throw.
Stop the cap.
Listen, he can throw. Obviously, he plays in the NFL. Is he an elite passer?
Okay.
Is he an elite passer? No.
He's getting there. He's getting there. Yes,
Bro,
he's getting
he
there.
throws lollipops that get caught by great receivers.
Listen, man. Okay, so if he throws lollipops, I got a little stat for you since you're trying to get cute with him.
Okay.
You know what his stat line is right now?
What's the stat line?
When trailing in the second half this season, 67% completion, 10 touchdowns to no interceptions, 138.6 passer rating. That kid can throw. And I'm tired of y'all, you and everybody else talking noise about Jalen Hurts. I'm a Niner fan, but I've been watching this kid since Alabama. He took great strides at OU, and he's doing it in the league. He is a perfect Philly quarterback. He's tough. He's gritty. He's got that underdog story. I hate we got to play him, but guess what? If you get Purdy enough time, he's going to have some Brady moments too. But Jalen Hurts, enough of this hater. Shout out to you for doing your thing. You're 10-0 right now. 10-0.
You were 4 for 11 for 33 yards in the first half.
In the first half. Okay, but what happens when the game is on the line? When the game, that's not true. He is 10. No, bro. Stop. Stop. He is not. Oh, my God. He is a good quarterback for what they do.
What happened yesterday?
He's a good quarterback for what they do.
Was more about the Bills than the Eagles, because the Bills continue to blow games like this week in and week out. We know that. Whether it's Josh Allen, which it wasn't Josh Allen yesterday. Yesterday it was the defense all of a sudden going to a soft cloud coverage and allowing all these underneath throws to be made. I still think that, no one thought they were going to make a 60-yard field goal in those conditions.
So you used to play press man in a 2-minute drill?
I mean, why not? Prevent defense prevents you from winning, period. Because, listen, it had been proven the whole game with tight coverage, with bringing exotic blitzes, showing cover 2, but backing out into a cover 3, or showing cover 5 and coming into a 6. It was confusing Jalen the whole game.
Still zone is just a 2-man rotation.
You don't have to go man press, but you don't have to be in going dime and drop everybody into cover 4 either. Right? You look at the defense, they went to a completely different defense on that final drive of the game. I get they're scared to give up the big ball to A.J. Brown. I get that. But you can't be. You can't be. You got to continue to play defense the way you've been playing defense all game long, because you had Jalen confused and you had the Eagles on the ropes the whole game until you didn't, because you got scared and you started playing conservative defensively. Why?
Okay. Well, because they also need to help out with time to see if they can get the ball back, make a mistake, right? And what you said to a test, Jalen, all he does is throw these lollipops. Well, now he took a lot underneath. He took what the defense gave him, and he drove him down the field with ease with under 3 minutes left in 2 overtime. And what'd they do? They won the game. What does he do? He wins when pressure is all around him. That dude is really good. That's a very rare trait. You either have it or you don't. You can't coach it.
Was it
something either in you? Yes, when he ran the 20-yard drive.
I'm asking though, was it overtime when they slung Josh Allen down by the back of his shoulder pads, right? And they didn't call the horse collar, and so the Bills had to settle for the field goal. They got the field goal, and then it allowed Jalen Hurts and them. It would have been 1st and goal at that point if they called the horse collar. So
I mean, now the refs do. The refs kind of killed the game, right? The refs are killing the game right now, but I think what Jalen Hurts is doing outside of that, when he has an opportunity, he runs with it, man. He does a great job of throwing and passing. He is a very clutch player. He's probably the most clutch player in the league right now, if we're keeping it real.
We'll say
if we're keeping it real.
That, he plays the best in the 4th quarter. I'll give you that.
Wait. It's that what you're supposed to be judged on? Isn't that what this whole quarterbacking thing matters?
But
when the game is on the line.
Why does he suck for 3 quarters every single week?
That's not true. That's not true. Okay.
I've seen him come. Why do you think he has to come back every single week?
Outside of like 4 games this year. But we're not talking him, right?
The last 4 weeks, they've had to make comebacks 4 weeks in a row.
Okay, so he started a fire and he let it out. He's got a little bit of a Jimmy Garoppolo situation going. But hey, now let's take those adjustments. The fact of the matter is, this guy is winning, man. This guy is winning when it matters the most. At the end of the day, your job as a quarterback is to win games. That is how you'll be judged. Passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns are not how you're going to be judged. Can you get your team in the end zone when it matters the most? Does he do it? Yes or no?
He does.
Does he do it? Okay.
He's not doing it alone. Let's not pretend like this dude's playing for the Chicago Bears.
Tom Brady did it all alone, right? Tom Brady did it all alone.
He's got a better receiver core right now than Tom Brady ever had. Yes or no?
I never said he didn't. He's got
got a
two
better
guys,
offensive
and
line.
he's got his number one tight end that is already out for injury right now for the broken forearm.
Okay.
But he still did it right.
He says he's going to play with a broken forearm.
Good luck, because I'm
just telling you
so
what he's gonna
ready
say.
for this game.
Look, here.
I understand
Number
you
one,
hate him.
you
I
should be
get
the
it.
biggest Jalen hater out there because you
No, not at all. I appreciate the underdog. Yeah, we're going to try to kick his ass, but he's
Understand, you're going to have about 15 penalties to their 3. So understand that going in. Okay?
Probably. It is what it is, man.
Understand that going in. Understand that you're going to be winning and feeling really good about yourself into the fourth quarter when all of a sudden some really fluky stuff is going to happen. Your receivers are going to forget how to catch the ball. Your quarterback is going to have some mental breakdown, and for some reason, unbeknownst to anybody else, your kicker is going to be in the bathroom at the time that they need to kick a field goal, because at every single game, something has happened very strangely to the other team. I mean, you look at the Chiefs; they dropped 11 balls, I think, against the Eagles. Right, the most they have more drops than anybody else in the league. I mean, every single week, it just seems like these teams they implode in the fourth quarter with the lead, while the Eagles go, "Oh, you're imploding. We're still going to do what we do. Oh, look, we're winning now," and it's really getting to annoy the hell out of me as a Cowboys fan.
I don't know how long they can sustain that. Okay, I don't know. But what I do know is they're very good at running the ball. And if we can stop that run and we can pin our ears back and get to Hurts, that O-line's a little banged up and old, right? You got some young Thundercats on the D-line, right? So if we can pin our ears back, control a little bit of that line of scrimmage, I think we have an opportunity to really beat their ass.
The last two teams have done it.
I really do. Because they're putting up too many points for us not to think and sit here and be like, I think we can do the same. I think our offense is more explosive than those last 2 teams they played this year.
Listen,
100% facts.
Control the clock, right?
Going to have to keep Hurts off the field, period.
You need nice, 9 to 12 play drives, and make the Eagles, when they do have the ball, make them press. Make their offense
panic.
Press. Make them get out of what they want to do.
Out of what they do.
Make them make Jalen Hurts drop back 30 times, and you will win the game.
Oh, okay. That's what you want to do?
Yes.
Because every time you do that, he does what?
No. Make him drop back. I mean, drop back pass. Make him drop back.
We're not very good at stopping dual threat quarterbacks, by the way.
Don't let them run. Look, do what the Bills did. What you do is what the Bills and the Chiefs did to slow down Jalen Hurts in the run game. Is you play contain on the outside, you play position football with your tackles, and you let your linebackers make a fence behind that defensive line, so there's no lanes for him to go through. It's when these teams get out of their lanes that these big runs happen.
Yeah, and he gashed us those last times that we played him before. Those last 2 times we played Philly, he's gashed us.
Well, I'm depending on y'all to win a game. I need the 49ers to win one game this year, and it's this week. Coming up,
and if it goes to Santa Clara in the playoffs, good luck everybody. We'll see you on Vegas. That ain't happening. Nah, if we go home and play all the way, see y'all in Vegas, bro. This is on. It's on.
Bold prediction.
And the Super Bowl colors right now are what?
Purple,
red and purple.
And red. Oh. So, folks, the script apparently has been written. Lamar Jackson will play Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl, according to Brandon Newton.
Damn it, I don't want to play. Come on. God. I'm be torn.
I mean, in the last 3 games, Lamar hasn't done a whole lot from a number standpoint. The Ravens are winning. They have a great defense. They have a great run game. But
they're still the best team in the NFL.
Here's what I wonder. Here's what could be scary. Is Lamar not doing much because they're not asking him to, because they don't need him to? And is it at a point to where, is there a switch in Baltimore to where when they need Lamar to be super Lamar, they can flip that switch and all of a sudden
100%. And it's so scary. It's terrifying.
Okay. We'll see. We haven't seen terrifying. It yet. We have not seen.
It's terrifying. And I don't want to play him. But we'll play him in week 16. We'll see what happens, man. This is a long season, man. It's still, we're right in that back end. We're getting into December that's when we're going to see the real teams come out. You guys got a big stretch. We have a big stretch. Philly has a big stretch. So this is really going to come down to who's playing the best ball in December. I think that's what it always comes down to.
Yeah, that's what it always comes down to. So speaking of
Hot
December.
topics, baby.
It's getting kind of hot. Let's talk about our hot topics.
Let's get it.
Let's start with the shootout last night between the Bills and the Eagles. The question that I'm going to pose to you right now, Brandon, are the Bills done? For this year, are they done? Are they going to get in
Are
the
they
playoffs?
done? Are they done? Man, I really don't think they're done. I think they might just be getting started because last two games, they put up 30, 37, 38 points, right? They struggled. They struggled offensively for the past few times, right? Now they're turning back the clock a little bit. Or 32 and 37 points. Now you got to go to play the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Then you got to play the Cowboys. Then you got to play Chargers, Patriots, and Dolphins. I think those are all opportunities, especially the way these teams look outside of the Cowboys, maybe. You can win those games. You can go beat the Chiefs.
The Chiefs look beatable.
You can beat the Chiefs. If you play just the way you play in Philly, you can beat every one of these guys on your schedule. And you could make a run.
They're going to have
my thoughts.
Because the Texans.
I don't think it's over.
I think the Dolphins are going to win that division, and then you're going to be playing for that other wild card spot. And I'll tell you what,
second.
The way the Texans are playing right now, and the way the Jaguars are fighting, if they don't end up with a better record, and right now, if the season ended today, the Bills are not in the playoffs.
They're out. Yeah. So sadly, right now they're positioned at 10.
They have to really watch what the Texans do at the end of the day. That's going to be their competitor, right? They're going to have to win more games than the Texans do down the stretch.
And you got to watch what Denver does because Denver's sitting at 9 right now.
On fire. Denver's the hottest team in the NFL right now.
Cincinnati, Vegas, Chargers, Titans, they're all done.
Yeah.
Cleveland can fall out of it. Cleveland can fall out of it.
Yeah, I don't think Cleveland's going to stick around.
I don't think they're going to stick around, and I don't think Indy's going to stick around. So those two slots could bump up the Texans. Maybe bump up. Yeah. So they basically what they have to do, they have to beat Kansas City. It doesn't matter if the Dallas Cowboys yes or no, because that's not a conference game. Right?
Correct.
Then you turn around, games. You have to beat the Dolphins, which are number 1 in your division. Right? You guys are going to split. The Dolphins are number 1 right now in their division. Buffalo sitting at 2. Yeah, you got to take care of business, man. You can't lose no more games. You can't lose a game outside of Dallas. If you lose to Dallas, that's okay. But outside of that, you have to win every one of these games. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to come down. It's going to be close.
Speaking of Dallas, the 49ers and the Cowboys both had big wins on Thanksgiving. Both quarterbacks played great in Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott. Which win did you find, I guess, more... What's the word I'm looking for? You thought
which
it was
mattered the most?
Which one mattered the most to you?
It's obvious. It's the 49ers against the Seahawks. I mean, that's a plus 500 team, right?
See,
is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah. Like which one was more impressive to you? That's what I want to know. Which
impressive? Oh, it has to be Dallas. I mean, it had to be Dallas. But you guys do that all the time with them. Again, a team that's under 500. I think to me, as far as just you want the highlights, okay, you go to Dallas game. But if you want the knit and grit when it mattered the most and you had to battle against a team in your division, which is known for kicking your ass for the past 10 years, and you go up and now you're 4-0 on them. You got 4 games up on them now, especially our last 4 meets. Man, that was huge for us. And I remember there was a time, during the Kyle Shanahan era where they beat our butts and then they went to the middle of the field on our logo and had that turkey dinner. Him, Russell Wilson, Sherman. Man, come on, man. That's so disrespectful. That's so sorry, but guess what? We turned around and did it. Brock dropped his gonads and threw an absolute dot to seal the game when we needed it. I think that was a huge win for us because, number one, it showed Brock Purdy can play good in tight situations when we needed him to. He needed that touchdown for his confidence and his boost. Otherwise, he was just a game manager. Christian McCaffrey were running hot. I mean, Brock made some really good throws, but I think to do that and put it in his hand, and then he turned around and threw a fake 28 boot left and threw it to the flats, a little upspread there to George Kittle to seal the deal. So I was just like, man, okay, you made some great strides. Dak does that to the Commanders all the time, man. All the
I'll
time.
say for me, the Cowboys win was more impressive because of just the way we absolutely slaughtered them in a game that was supposed to be a trap game for us. So I was, because we do have the tendency, like I said earlier, to play down to our competition. So I'm happy to see that we just went out there and smacked them in the mouth from start to finish. I would say your win was more important to your organization because it's the Seahawks, it's in Seattle, it's the 12th man, it's all those things. And young Brock Purdy, who took some criticism not too long ago, goes into Seattle and gets a big win there. So from that standpoint, I'd say the 49ers win was a bigger win for their organization.
And it puts us number one in the division.
So there you go. Yeah, and it puts you number one. Beating the Commanders doesn't do anything for us really in our division, except that we don't lose to a team that we're supposed to beat. So
yeah. Now we play them twice in 3 weeks, though. So that's number one.
But you
play the Eagles and we go back and play. Yeah.
You'll be fine. But that Eagle game, that could take a lot out of you. That's going to be a
it really could, man.
Game.
That's going to be a dog fight. I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, I just kind of know the reality of how this thing works. And we better show up. That's all I got to say.
Good thing there's not a lot of good slate of games on this weekend, so we'll be able to watch that game at 3 o'clock and not have anything taking our focus.
I'm not playing golf at all, so don't even ask me.
So I never play on Sundays anyway. But speaking of teams losing to teams they're not supposed to, and I think we touched on this earlier, but this is a big topic right now. Are the Detroit Lions frauds? I say yes. Frauds they are. What say you, Brandon?
They messed this up.
They sure did.
They really messed this up because they dropped Barry's documentary, as we were talking earlier, man. They've been beating teams up. But I say no.
No.
I say they're not frauds because if I look at their schedule coming up, they got a chance to pretty much beat everybody on their schedule. And they literally have a legit shot. They got the Saints, the Bears, the Broncos, the Vikings, the Cowboys, the Vikings.
They will lose to the Cowboys.
Oh, they might. Yeah, they might take a L because that's in Jerry's world, right?
Here in Dallas, they're going to lose that game. I think they're going to lose to the Denver Broncos too, who I think might run the table for the rest of the season the way they're playing. I don't know.
So you say the last stretch, 4 out of 6 games, they're going to win. That puts them at 12.
No matter what the Lions do, they're going to win their division, but they're going to lose in the playoffs first game. They're going to be done.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody's
going to play, right? I mean, if they have to play the Cowboys, they're going to lose. If they have to play Seattle, they're going to lose. If they have to play the 49ers, they're going to lose. If they have to play the Eagles, they're going to lose. It doesn't matter. I don't think who they play. Now let me go back. If they get to play the West team, they might win that game. They might win a wild card game if they have to play the Falcons.
So if they're the number 2 seed, the number 2 seed is going to have to go play the NFC South team.
Why no? Why would the
because they're going to be hold on, they're a lower seed though.
They wouldn't have to travel. They'll get a home game.
Yeah, no. I'm saying if you're thinking they're just going to be in a wild card,
the Lions will be the 3 seed, which will make them have to play the Dallas Cowboys, which will be the 5 seed in Detroit.
You're right.
That's what will happen. And 49ers will play the Falcons. Or the Buccaneers, whoever wins from the South.
No, it all depends because all those top 4 teams are going to be divisional leaders.
Yeah, but you'll still get a home game because you have a better record.
Correct, but you win your division, so automatically the division winner gets to play at home.
If you're the 2nd seed, the Cowboys would have to come to you because we'll be the 5th seed. Because
you'll have to come to us.
No. You get the worst matchup. The number 2 seed gets to play the team.
We get to play the Seahawks.
Record. There you go.
If the season ended today, we're playing the 7th seed.
There you go.
Detroit's going to play Minnesota.
It's all about.
And then 4 and 5 are going to play each other, which is the Falcons and the Cowboys. So it looks like you will be going to Atlanta.
Yeah, we'll go to Atlanta, and then we'll have to go because we'll be the worst team left. We'll have to go to Philly in the 2nd round. Yeah, that's
Destroyed.
well, you'll probably have to play.
Destroyed.
You may have to,
fate.
you may have to play the Minnesota Vikings or the Detroit Lions or somebody like that.
Bring
Play the
them.
Vikings,
Don't
they're gonna
matter.
lose.
Run up, get done up. Let's go.
So let's talk about the future, right? We're gonna have to do some playoff talk. We'll probably have to start that next week, but let's talk about the future. And I want to point out two guys to you, and it's CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence. Now, I'm not a big fan of Trevor Lawrence, but these two guys have had two good battles this year. They've both won on the road. Is this a matchup that we're looking to, a marquee quarterback matchup that we're looking to for the next 10 years? Is this Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes? Is this another evolution of these quarterbacks?
No, because y'all are making that way too much, way more than what it is.
Really?
No.
You don't think we're going to see
no,
these two playing each other for years to come?
Yes, I mean I do see that, but let's not throw those guys out there with those guys, right? Let's not do that. Did you say some Brady Manning stuff?
No, I didn't say Brady Manning. I said Mahomes and Allen. Mahomes and Allen.
What is Mahomes? A Super Bowl champ.
True.
A Super Bowl champ. Yeah. What are these guys? First, one and done's. One and done's.
Don't look too deep into it, Brandon.
I have to. You can't drop a question like that.
Okay. So I say yes.
Come on,
I think that these are two quarterbacks that we're going to look forward to watching play each other for a very long time. When that game comes on, I think the Texans-Jaguars, that's going to be a game that you're going to want to turn your TV to. And I think that's what we're looking for as fans, is what quarterbacks do we want to see match up. Remember, Manning and Brady played each other before they were Super Bowl champions, right? Mahomes played Allen before he won a Super Bowl. So, I mean, I get that neither one of them have done anything yet, but Trevor was a top-round pick. CJ was a top-round pick, and now these two are playing each other in the same division. And I think this year's been fantastic that they both won on the road and that they've battled like they have. Both games have come down to the wire. I don't know. I just think it's a good matchup to watch moving forward. And I'm not a fan of Trevor Lawrence, but I do like CJ. So
yeah, I like CJ, man. I mean, it could be an exciting. I mean, you do bring a great point, but I think honestly,
yeah,
the coaching in Houston and their playmakers, they're about to run that division.
The coaching,
they're about to run it. I get it. It's not the fact that I don't believe in Doug Peterson. I don't believe truly in Trevor Lawrence. I don't. After seeing him play the Niners and he's looking super mid when Brock Purdy is just carving your team up.
Yeah.
And this is the first pick in the draft to the last pick in the draft, and it looks switched. I can't. No, I can't. You just don't play very well versus good teams to me, man. You just don't. You play very mediocre. You put up 3 points against a team that was struggling, yearning for a win, and you had a bye week, and so did you. And that's all you put on film was 3 points against a team that was getting roasted for the past 3 games, right? Make Kirk Cousins look like freaking Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be better than Kirk Cousins, and you look extremely mid. I can't. CJ is better than you right now, man. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
All right.
He's not afraid of the moment. So
CJ.
No, CJ's the guy. I don't see T-Laws. No.
Trevor's not. Okay.
No.
So
he's
if the
all right.
Jaguars win the division this year, what do we say?
He's thrown 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, bro. Is that really the guy?
I didn't say he was the guy, but he could be a guy.
He's a guy. He's a guy. I just think
you don't have to,
I'm not saying I'm not a fan because he does make some really good throws, but I don't see it done at a consistent level. I see sporadic moments with him, constantly, hey man, why'd you take that? Why'd you do that? Dude, versus Kansas City, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, all playoff teams, he's taking 5 sacks, 3 sacks, 5 sacks, 4 sacks, 5 sacks. Against good teams, he gets mopped.
Yeah.
And he doesn't show me what I was hoping for, but hey, it's cool.
Okay.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. All right. I mean, that's some hot topics. Hey, if you guys have a hot topic that you want us to talk about, drop it in the comments on our show or one of our shorts, and we'll be happy to put that into our hot topics for next week. Now, speaking of next week, I know you're going to be looking forward to the 49ers Eagles game. I am
I
too,
sure
although
am.
I don't think that's a great quarterback matchup because I think Brock Purdy is worlds better than Jalen Hurts. So
Oh wow, that's
I
so
think I think this
disrespectful to
is just
Jalen.
a good football game.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
going to stay disrespectful because it's the Eagles.
This is
Um,
such a Cowboy fan talking.
but I am looking forward to the Texans versus the Broncos. And why? Because of what we just talked about. CJ Stroud, he's been amazing. Yeah, he lost the game, but he's a lot of fun to watch. The Texans are fun to watch. They have a lot of energy. And the Broncos are the hottest team in football. So to me, these are two teams that the Texans want to stay in the playoff race. The Broncos are trying to get into the playoff race. This game to me is super exciting. What do you got?
Man, I got a really good matchup. These guys are on fire. Desmond Ritter versus Tim Boyle. Why are they even broadcasting this?
Boy,
I'm
that game doesn't
totally
even need to be on
kidding.
TV. They need to flex that game out. They need to black it out at home. Like if you
We're
can't
fine
get that game, you don't need to watch
all
it.
of them. Oh
Yes,
my gosh, I
there's
feel
not a lot
so
of good
bad for
matchups.
the Atlanta Metro right now.
There is
I'm
not
gonna
a lot
say-
of good matchups next week. So good luck finding one.
I'm gonna say Brock Purdy versus Jalen Hurts. This is obviously the game we got to see. I think Jalen right now is the king of the NFC as far as quarterbacks go. He's probably the front runner for the MVP.
He's not better than Dak.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
I'm really not having this conversation with you.
No, he's
not
not.
right now. No, you're like now you're a fan. Now you're a fan.
He's not a better quarterback than Dak.
All right,
He's a
man.
better football player.
He is the best player in the NFC East when it comes to playing quarterback and the best quarterback in the NFC conference. However, there is a gentleman that is coming into your home.
Wow.
And I pray that we have really good shiny weather. It's not too windy. It needs to just be just perfect, right? It needs to be perfect. A little sweet there. But if Brock Purdy, if you can't get to him, he's going to torch you. And he's going to torch you. He's going to make you Cowboy fans really happy.
I hope so.
All right. But I will say this. Philly is battle tested. And I feel like, yes, we're battle tested to a degree. We don't play from behind very well at all. Pause. 0-30 going into the fourth quarter, down 10. If that happens, you kiss it goodbye in the Shanahan era. If we can control this thing and keep Jalen Hurts, how you beat Jalen Hurts to me is like playing a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning. You got to keep them off the field, like period. You can't go 3 and outs. Like you've got to sustain long drives. I'm not comparing Jalen Hurts to Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, but what Jalen Hurts does that those two do when the game is on the line, you are scared shitless because you know he's going to find a way to get it done. And he has done that since he stepped in. And you got to give him credit for that. Dak doesn't do that. I haven't seen Purdy do it as much. I haven't seen Pat Mahomes does it a little bit. Josh Allen does it a little bit, right? Burrow has, but Jalen Hurts has done it more consistently than anybody. And, hey, I give credit where credit's due, man. I hope we keep his ass on the sideline because if we do, we got a chance. If we don't, it's over.
That's
score just my take.
Just score points in a flurry.
We're going to try, but they do that. Like, bro, they're the best red zone team in the league.
Just keep them out of the red zone.
Just like you did, huh?
Hey, I mean, we should have won the game. We should have beat the
Eagles. Oh, shoulda, coulda, but didn't.
You know what? What I say about the Eagles is that they should lose every single week, but somehow they end up winning the game. So can you just handle that for us? Can you just
that's
do
what
the
they
whole
do,
NFL
man.
a favor and just knock them off? I mean, the Jets did it, but no one else seems to be able to do it. It's ridiculous. But I'm looking forward to Texas versus Broncos. I want to see if Russell Wilson is going to continue to cook himself into a playoff spot. I think that would be a great story. And talk about MVP. Wow.
Ooh, Russ versus the Texans. Yeah, that's a good one.
All of a sudden, Russell Wilson turns it on, and maybe he's MVP. I mean, Dak's numbers, quarterback-wise, are better than Jalen. So I don't know why Jalen would get MVP and Dak wouldn't.
Because his team is beating 500 teams, and Jalen is like 14
on a better team.
Teams over 500. Oh, does he? Does he? Oh,
Yeah.
now it's a better team. Okay.
The Eagles are stacked.
Okay. And Jalen's not clutch?
He is.
Man, I froze your boy. I froze your boy. Snap that because he got frozen.
He's
now,
really good. He's really good at throwing bubbles and slants in the
bubbles.
clutch.
Yeah,
He's really
absolutely.
good at that.
Yeah, phenomenal. But he just
He's
doesn't throw
awesome
down
at
the
quarterback.
field.
Look,
And
he's great at quarterback sneaks. He's the best at quarterback sneaks.
phenomenal. But he doesn't throw a great over route. He doesn't throw good crossing routes and corner routes and drops it in the bucket where nobody else can get it. Dude, that kid can play, bro. Stop playing.
Okay. All right.
Stop playing.
Let's not pretend like he's an elite passer of the football. Because he's not.
Oh, buddy. Hey, let's just wait it out and let's just see what happens, okay? But here's another one.
Go ahead.
Mahomes, the king of the NFL right now.
Against who?
Takes on Jordan Love, one of the hottest quarterbacks right now in the past 3 weeks.
And you're
in Lambeau, and it's cold.
You're really getting aggressive on the mic there.
No. Like, let's just call it what it is, man. Jordan Love's been playing some good ball the past couple weeks.
Where's this game going to take place?
It's in Lambeau.
This could be a trap game for the Chiefs.
Yes, it could. And in the past, in the past 3 games, Jordan Love has had 7 touchdowns and 2 picks. He's thrown for over 700 yards. Drink your kombucha juice.
What are you drinking there? Wait, what
hey, this is kombucha. It's really good because I got bad guts.
Oh wow!
So sometimes I need that, and it helps me. Helps me take that daily poop.
I don't know if I can get a sponsor for that, but water, ice.
Yeah,
and
this is
Yeti.
This is a probiotic. This is a probiotic tea for a happy gut.
Oh, fantastic!
I cooked some ribs this past weekend. It definitely created a poop, which is good for me.
That is those ribs information than the huddlers need to know. I don't think they need to know that much.
Hey, screw being professional. Have some fun with it.
Speaking of poop, let's talk about your fantasy picks. Were they poopy this weekend, or were they pretty good?
Oh, they were pretty darn good, dude. I'll tell you on the ones I hit because I normally don't talk about that. They're probably just saying, "Oh, he's just saying that." BS. I'm like number 1, number 2, and like number 4 in my fantasy. Although I'm about to lose like this week, so it kind of sucks. So I can't really talk too much. Hey, you take a couple of L's sometimes. I mean, those things happen. But the things I hit on Hurts versus the Bills. I hit on CJ. I hit on Dak and the Commanders. I hit on Goff. I hit on Purdy. I hit on Mahomes. And I hit on Stafford versus the Cardinals. Yeah, check me out now. Okay. This week, I got Dak versus the Seahawks. I think he still continues to roll. He's playing at a very high level. It's fun to see that. I know Cowboy fans are excited. Dak gets a lot of hate. But no hate over this way until you beat a 500 team. I'm just telling you. But outside of that, man, you're doing a really good job.
There he is.
You're a great leader. I can't say enough good things about you. So for my next, I have Baker versus the Panthers. I think Baker turns it up, man. He's been fighting for a dub. He hasn't been playing like crap.
No,
he's it's unfortunate for him. I got Mahomes versus the Packers. I think he goes in and annihilates Green Bay.
Wait, you just said that Jordan Love was going to have a day, and that the Chiefs were going to lose.
I said, I didn't say. Oh no, I didn't.
Touchdowns and 2 interceptions over the last 3 weeks.
Hey, the last 3 weeks, Jordan Love has been playing it really good at quarterback. That's not to say that they're going to beat. I said that's a matchup to see, but we all know that Mahomes is going to get it done. Okay.
All right.
And I also got Trevor Lawrence versus Bengals. As bad as I talk about T-Law, this team is under 500, so obviously he's going to do well because that's what he has been doing the entire time. And then I got Justin Herbert versus Patriots. I think Justin Herbert versus Patriots really helps. But I also have, man, you got to sit Brock Purdy here. I don't know why. Something just tells me. Like, my thing is, I think we're going to rely more on our run game than we really are just going to let them spin it the entire time because their D-line is hell. So I think he'll probably have under 220 yards. I do think just Jalen Hurts might torch us if we can't keep him off the field.
Hurts and stay away from Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I would say that. I would
Play
say that to
Jalen
a degree.
Hurts against the San Francisco 49er defense.
Yeah,
Folks,
if I
I'm
have to
setting you
eat
up
crow with
fail.
that, nah, it's not that. It's just if I'm gonna eat crow on this, I'm gonna eat crow on it.
Okay. Well, there
I'm
we
not
go.
saying that. I'm not saying that Jalen can't get it or Brock can't get it done. It's just I think we're gonna be a run heavy team this game because the Philly has shown that they struggle versus the run to a degree, right? And I mean, Cooks was running all over him. Josh Allen was running all over him. You put CMC in the mix, and then you get Debo rolling, man. And you got one of your best defensive ends out. I don't know, man. So hopefully we can control the clock. It may not be very flashy how we get it done, but I think Jalen Hurts is going to do Jalen Hurts things. It's just a matter of keeping him off the field. But still
Hopefully
start
he
him.
does do some Jalen Hurts things like throw an interception or two, fumble the ball once or twice. That'd be great.
Okay.
Listen, y'all beat the Eagles this week. I'm buying a Purdy jersey. I'm putting that out on the air right now. The 49ers beat the Eagles. I'm ordering a Purdy jersey on Monday. That's how much I want.
Man.
That's how much I want the 49ers to win this game.
We're going to do it, man.
Okay.
We're going to do it.
I hope so. Well, hey, that was a great week. Lots of great content. We finally got Brady and I kind of fired off at each other. That's going to
roll, man.
Because we just don't always agree on everything, and that's okay. But that's going to do it for this week's edition of the QB Huddle podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to comment, especially about any hot topics you want us to discuss. Keep an eye out for the Couch Coach later this week. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to our incredible producer, Mark Watson. Thanks for tuning in once again for my podcast partner, Brandon Newey. I'm Tim Smith, and we'll see you next week on the QB Huddle podcast.
Peace.
Get wild.